Okay, so for those of you who are religious, you're the only ones who really will understand. This letter is very well thought out. It is designed to be portrayed as a fictional letter, and it is an example of religion versus mental health. And this is somebody who is being extremely honest, who is persecuted by the government. Now, I want you all, for the sake of argument, to see this as somebody who's telling the absolute truth. And it's embarrassing to that person. Okay? Absolutely true, embarrassing, and that further complicates the situation. And this person is being harassed by the government as well. It's of the utmost importance that you see it that way, so you can look at this with an impeccably sharp mind, and you can truly grasp why I had to make this example. So, again, it's an example of religion versus mental health. This is a religious person being persecuted by spiritual bottom feeders, atheists, Satanists, the enemies of Christianity and Islam, by mental health. This person is a Christian. To whom it may concern, there are two demons trying to send me energy or some kind of urges. One we will call Now It's My Turn, and it wants me to kill my enemies in a very painful, dramatic, heartless, ruthless, merciless, horrible, terrible, and demonic fashion. The other demon we will call heterosexual lust and heterosexual sexual acts. There are demonic entities in some fucking realm, and because of the situation, they are trying to tempt me to do bad things. The Now It's My Turn demon really has my ear, and the other one just has a monopoly on my sexual fantasies. I am incapable of fantasizing about women in a romantic fashion when I please myself, and it has me fantasizing in a immoral manner. These are not my personal demons. These are generals of hell's army, assigned to certain units which specialize in certain sins. These sins may or may not correctly be labeled the 7 deadly sins. Perhaps part of how and why I understand serial killers is that I have certain attributes in common with them. On no uncertain terms am I not mentally ill, which basically means I'm certainly not mentally ill. In parentheses, I emphatically stress that I have far above average mental health. Rather, I am in touch with the spiritual realm, and I am a very passionate warrior. War tends to bring out the sins inside of people as they act in a demonic way, because perhaps killing people for any reason is demonic. So when you put yourself in a warlike state of mind, you open the door to other demonic activities such as rape, robbery, blasphemy, murder, greed, and so on. It seems the more I think about them, and the more I am gang-stalked by the government, affiliated gangs and groups I always talk about, the more sway the demons seem to have over me. Again, this is the person in the letter. This is not me, for the sake of argument. And this person also talks about gang stalking. I threw that in there because that's obviously something I'm experiencing. The more sway the demons seem to have over me. Also, psychiatric medication seems to compound the problem as I lose my ability to have a strong will and determination to resist the perhaps psychotic type of desires they are pushing on me. Any reservations I have for violence are then thrown out the window, and I become a sort of zombie-like demonic robot acting on my demon-influenced and generated impulses. The drugs seem to be similar to cocaine or meth in that you are in a drugged-up demonic state of mind. They are worse since not only are they about as addictive as these illicit drugs, but also society goes out of its way to make you take them. In conclusion, I have more reason than even the most insightful researchers on their best day have to believe that mass shootings are caused by mental health, specifically psychology and psychiatry, especially psychiatric medication. I am quite aware that to simple-minded bootlicking cowards, this sounds ludicrous, absurd, extreme, and fanatical. In other words, unless you are a Christian or Muslim with a very insightful and deductive mind, you have very little chance of realizing this elusive truth. P.S. The people such as Freud and Jung, who on record channel spirits, went to seances, and participate in witchcraft, not only have been known to take drugs and recommend them for made-up mental illnesses, but people of like minds in pharmacology and the pharmaceutical industry made these drugs on purpose to promote Satanism in its pure form. In other words, Pike's pure Luciferian doctrine quote comes to mind as Masons and their allies create hell on earth as part of their religion. Think satanic cults and serial killers. The government is harassing me, stalking me, using technology on me that you wouldn't believe, and I am blacklisted, so I cannot get this message out. Please help. So, you know, as I was writing this, you know, for the sake of argument, you know, I couldn't help but think, you know, I'm going to make a dramatic, you know, letter that is very religious, that is based on reality, pretty much completely. And I'm going to say, in this theoretical situation, how would mankind handle it? Well, this person has admitted to having the desire to hurt people and for sexual immorality. And if you think about it, you say, well, he might rape a woman or kidnap a woman, or, you know, he might be sadistic with a woman, abuse his girlfriend, he might kill people, you know, he might, you know, torture people and so on and so forth by what he said, because he's admitted that he has the desire. But we are all tempted to do evil. As Christians, we are taught that we are all tempted to do evil. We are taught that there is the devil tempting us as well, and that there are demons assigned to different things. If you really look deep into Christianity and Christian theology and Christian philosophy and so on and so forth, you know, we are taught these things. There is nothing that is written in this letter that isn't part of Christianity and part of facts. The government on record has been caught using technology to harass people. Blacklisting was a popular thing, especially during McCarthy's time and so on, you know, during the Communist Scare, the Red Scare, and so on. Sabotage, all these things, gang stalking, you know, I've proven myself and other people, we've had people admit to gang stalking and so on, and group stalking. You know, the Justice Department says something like 20% of all group stalking, I mean, all stalking is group stalking. I mean, there is nothing in this letter that isn't absolutely true. Now, let's look at it from a psychiatric perspective before I wrap this up. I'll wrap this up in about 1 minute. You know, I'm going to be done in 8 minutes. So, the psychiatrist's diagnosis would be, this person is suffering from some form of psychosis. He is schizoaffective. He has paranoid delusions. He's characterized by paranoid delusions, persecutory delusions, and he believes that there's some kind of demonic entities sending him messages, which is quote-unquote abnormal thinking. He is suffering from a severe case of schizophrenia, if not schizoaffective, one of these two disorders. And it possibly is linked to maybe a mania or something along these lines. This person is also sounding distressed, so this has some form of a severe depression as well, which is characteristic of, you know, these other disorders that goes hand in hand with quote-unquote bipolar disorder and schizophrenia and schizoaffective and so on and so forth. So there will be a lengthy list of diagnoses. So as you can see, the title was perfect, an example of religion versus mental health. From a religious perspective, from a scholarly religious perspective, a scholar who's sort of a Renaissance man, who's researched technology and mental health and everything he's talking about, absolutely, you know, there's nothing out of the ordinary about it. But from a mental health perspective, there's a long list of things out of the ordinary, and this person needs immediate help because he's a threat to himself and to society. Now, I hope that you truly understand the situation that you're dealing with and how detrimental it is to fund mental health. Christians shoot themselves in the foot by supporting mental health. Thank you.